2020 impacted our lives in so many ways. It challenged us to rise above obstacles that at times felt insurmountable. It also connected us all in a new way, and I'd say for me, finally created the needed space for a positive conversation in the workplace about the true value of diversity. That aptitude shouldn't be judged by the color of a person's skin, but by the quality of the person and their experiences and the perspective they bring. It's long been understood that the most important asset of any organization is its people, and that's never been more apparent than last year, where we witnessed companies around the world acknowledge racial inequity and make real commitment to change. Recognizing that the composition of the company's people and all their dimensions of humanity ultimately impact its success. As leaders, the onus is on us to be ambassadors of this change and demand it, and most importantly, be a model of it by creating equal opportunity with unbiased support, by fostering an inclusive team culture, by having the courage to start the difficult conversations, and by always seeking to understand perspectives that are different than our own. Companies, and our company in particular, recognize the responsibility to create an environment of opportunity for all, and that an inclusive culture is no longer an option, it's a requirement. The only way to create that change is to lean in and take action, and I'm just very excited to be a part of all of it.
So what does 2020 mean to me? I wanted to mention two things. One, Cisco's response both socially and economically to the global pandemic, how they're able to transition vast majority of the workforce to virtual at the drop of a dime. That was amazing. I'm glad to be part of that. The other thing I wanted to mention was all of the social justice, the police brutality, the rhetoric around the election. It felt a little bit like America opened their eyes, experienced and really saw some of the struggle. And it's just my hope that it doesn't stop there. We continue to see and continue to fight and continue to get better moving forward. And last thing I wanted to mention was Cisco donating to Black Lives Matter. That was very powerful for me because as a Black male saying Black Lives Matter, it's just like, yeah, of course. But for corporate America to say it, super meaningful.
2020 in relation to my Blackness was very eye-opening, exciting, and a little traumatic. I say that because human nature has us surround ourselves with people that have similar mindsets and opinions. And due to some of the response to the traumatic things that were happening within my community last year, I think the bubble that I was living in wasn't just burst, it was completely stomped on. I'm excited though to see that Cisco is working so hard to be impactful. They're putting their money where their mouths are. There's donations by the millions for disenfranchised, and there are diversity initiatives that may have already existed, but I was not aware of them and now am. Even today, I'm on an INC stretch assignment thanks to Ronnie Wright. I'm just very proud to know that I work for a company that's working so hard to be an agent of change.
One of my favorite quotes is by Dr. Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington was born into slavery in the mid-1800s and later went on to become an author, presidential advisor, teacher, and founder of Tuskegee University, a historically Black college and university in Alabama. As the quote reads, "Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles which he has overcome while trying to succeed." In our history books, the story often begins with the accomplishments and achievements of many great victors. If we took the time to study the journey to success these noble men and women embarked upon, we'd find many points of defeat, frustration, and disappointment buried somewhere in the small text. It's the defeat, frustration, and disappointment that builds character. It's that character that prevents the defeat, frustration, and disappointment from taking root and making what seems hard, difficult, or impossible now achievable. This quote is often a reminder for me that my success is not measured by titles or possessions, but of the trials I've endured, the obstacles I've overcome, and the challenges I have yet to conquer. May you be inspired to reflect on your own personal journeys and creation of your own definition of success.
I believe George Santayana said it best when he said that those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Black History Month means different things to different people, but for me, it gives me a time to reflect on the past and to see how far we've come as a society. The momentum has not been great, I'm not going to lie. We are moving slower than I would anticipate, but we're still making progress. Black History Month is a time where we reflect not only on what African Americans were able to accomplish and contribute to this land, but given the opportunity, but also what we can accomplish as a society if we took the time to not only see people as Black, white, Hispanics, or Asians, but as people working together for a greater cause. So on Black History Month, I reflect on the past and I look forward to a future where we put away all our differences and work together as one.
Important because it gives us an opportunity to share our stories, our true history, share the great kings and queens history of Africa, to share the trials, triumphs that we have and our ancestors have faced for so many years. It gives us an opportunity to teach our young what is not taught in school. It gives us an opportunity to show how proud of who we are, where we have come from, and where we will go. Black history is an important time of the year for us to celebrate, congratulate, and respect the triumphs of our past.
Because we set aside this time to honor, respect, and celebrate the achievements and contributions of Black and African American pioneers. But most importantly, we acknowledge and recognize those that came before us had names and voices that you may not find in any history books, but that they were here. They were men, women, and children, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters. And their lives, although deemed insignificant by others, mattered. So this month, we share in their remembrance in hopes that everyone would become the keepers of their stories, and those stories would reside in them not only during Black History Month, but every month.
I see Black History Month as the idea of learning and relearning. I use it as an opportunity to learn or try to learn about the accomplishments of our ancestors every year, something new, something different. But then we use it as an opportunity to relearn or reteach those messages and those things to our children to foster the same types of innovation and strategy and leadership in them. I think the quote best goes, "He who has no knowledge of himself or his ancestors is like a tree with no roots."
Reminds me the importance of unity and the danger of division and exclusion. So if you think about mankind as a human body, we consider the Black community as the heart of it. So like, an organ that we usually become aware of when there is an alert or a serious health issue to solve. And that's how it's actually doing its job, day and night since centuries, allowing all part of the body to receive blood, receive oxygen, in order to keep the entire body in good health. So the Black History Month, for me, it's an occasion to remind to all of us that we actually one mankind on this planet. Exactly like a body is made of different vital organs. A human body that is apparently in good shape but with a sick heart is simply a sick body. And unlimited action must be taken. So, we win together or we lose together.